In this episode of Wolf Tracks, we explain the risks and dangers of everyday snowboarding. We take you in the life of one SK student who's becoming a rising musical artist. And we also explore the life of one man whose interest in magic as a child inspired him to become a magician. All this and more on this special edition of Wolf Tracks.
Hello. My mom always told me snowboarding was dangerous. This one time I was on the mountain, saw these three guys in a pile of snow. Never been back since.
Snowboarding, safe or far from. Bottom line, it's a risky hobby, with accidents and injuries awaiting your every jump, jib, or jam. Sometimes, or even most of the time, crashes are unexpected or even out of your own reach. One of our local riders, Tony Sadler, experienced just what it feels like to get the whole season taken away by something so small and so simple.
Pretty sweet. It was just like any other day up at the park.
He was going switch 50-50 on the end.
I guess doing my opposite stance down the end of the box kind of caught me off guard, and I was just leaning too far forward and landed all my weight on my shoulder. I got up, I felt my collarbone. I just felt in there, and I just knew right away.
Snapped it right off, and like a piece of bone went into his neck.
I looked at my brother, I was just like broken. Just rode down the rest of the way, and there goes pretty much all your season.
Not being able to endure your passion can really put a big impact on someone. You have this great, fresh season ahead of you, and it gets snatched right out of your hands. Only negative things can be said about how they feel when they're left with this terrible feeling of emptiness.
It's definitely a downer. I mean, you get all hyped up, get a brand new snowboard, season's passed and everything, third time up out of the season. You're out for at least 2 months. I've never experienced it before. I mean, I've gone 7 years without doing it, and this is the first time, and I just don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Snowboarding isn't always full of pain and suffering. That's not to say that it's a walk in the park. There are ways around the constant falls and tumbles, but you have to know just what it takes.
Really, the only thing you could do is try to keep it within the boundary of your own skill level. Never try to go too over the top and just huck yourself off everything. I mean, that's just stupid to do. You may think you're cool doing it, but you just risk hurting yourself and ruining yourself.
Well, one of the big things would have to be just, you have to know your limits. You have to push boundaries to get better, but you have to know when to stop. You can't like try a backflip if you just started jumping, you know. You gotta wait it out and see what you can do and see what you can pull off.
Just try to do little baby steps at a time, like just work your way up before you try doing anything crazy. Mother Nature can get the best of you sometimes.
You see, snowboarding is fun till someone gets hurt. Bottom line, a snowboarding injury can be an epic event. Remember to keep it safe and be smart on what you're doing. What may seem like an amateur trick may end up in a tragedy.
Well, at least I know what not to do. You know, one time I was walking down the street and I saw these two kids fighting. I didn't know why they were doing that. One time in Vietnam I got stung by a bee. Lieutenant Dan called me a wuss, but I was in a lot of pain.
There's been a plague attacking our culture lately, and it's not the bird flu, sex, or even drugs. It's known simply as violence.
I don't know what it is, but whenever something bad or horrific happens, it seems like everybody has to go see it for themselves.
Oh, it's action. Why do people go to bullfights? Lots of stuff is happening. It's exciting.
Violence has been racing through the teenage population, but how can it be unexpected with so many different lifestyles crammed into one school building? Groups that go from goths to preps to jocks to gay and straight. All these groups interacting every day, there's always a chance that tensions may rise and even blow up.
Different cliques, definitely clash with each other. Like sometimes one clique will be playing music really loud that they think is, you know, the good kind of music, and another person will say, hey, shut that off, and then they'll just start getting in an argument.
So with all of this, you might think the school's just becoming one big boxing ring, but school still is the safest place for your child.
Not that fights don't happen, and not that bad things don't happen, but compared to the community, most kids are safer, even in terms of other family members in school.
School is a safe environment, you know, like every other building or business, they all have their disturbances, but overall, I think it's a safe school to be at.
Now, it's still a contradicting subject, but most experts say, and some tests have proven, that violent games can cause violence in people exposed to it. One study by the American Psychological Association says that even a brief exposure to violent games can temporarily increase aggressive behavior in all subjects. And during a speech by L. Raoul Guzman, a professor of psychology and communication studies, he explains that children imitate behavior from what they see and deduce what is right and wrong from what they see. And he goes on to explain that this is unfortunately not temporary. He says the aggressive child usually grows up to be the more violent adult.
I don't think really anything in the media, video games or movies or whatever, really contributes to teen violence. I think that's just more of an excuse of bad parenting.
And other kids, especially younger ones, don't have the internal regulation to think that, oh, maybe this isn't such a good idea, and so it actually has some negative effects.
Now, with all this aggression, there's a way to tell if something's happening or if something's going to happen. Some major warning signs of violence are bullying or intimidating of younger or smaller peers, access to guns or weapons, recent extreme humiliation, or cruelty to animals. If you have the slightest thought a teen is experiencing this, please contact someone to help. Now, teens' hormones are raging, so there is a point where we blow up. But if extreme violence comes from this, you need to call someone right away. Now, it's a heavy subject, but you can help. Please, if you experience this, contact your local psychiatrist before you have to contact your local hospital.
Mom always said violence never solves problems. You know, bowling's like a box of chocolates. Never know what you're gonna get. Could get a strike or a spare, one of them gutter balls. I had a friend named Jenny, she bowled. Her team got third in state.
Dancing wolves? Face painting? Crazed coaches?
We're going to take no prisoners. We are going to win.
You may think that this is a bit outrageous for a bowling match, but for us, it's just another game day of the state tournament. This year, SK Ladies Bowling Team tied for first in their division, took second at the Narrows League tournament, and placed third at the districts, winning themselves a spot at the state tournament. This was SK's second time going to state, and the girls were in very good spirits. Starting bright and early at 8 a.m., the tournament was finally underway. After bowling a grand total of 6 games, day 1 of the state tournament finally came to an end, with the Wolves on top. But that was only the end of day 1. After losing a bet and their natural hair color, the coaches were feeling good about our chances. But after a few bad games, the team was starting to lose confidence, and their nerves were finally starting to get to them.
You start us off, whatever she gets, we're doubling that every time, okay? Let's do it, okay?
After another long day of bowling, it all came down to the final few matches, but luck was not on the Wolves' side. After a few disappointing shots and splits, the Wolves were not able to pull themselves out of the funk they were in. Alright, so we didn't get first, but we did get third. After placing 6th last year, the coaches were very proud of the team, and the girls were excited as well. So even though they had their ups and downs, state was a great bonding experience for the team. From car rides, to bowling, to the hotel room, the girls really came together as a team, and even though we got third, it still felt like first.
1, 2, 3. B-I-G-T-O-R-Y, victory, victory, SK
I always knew Jenny was a good bowler. You know, this man stayed with me and my mama a long time ago. Well, we saw him in the television using my moves. He was quite good.
Pearl Jam, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Jimi Hendrix. What do all these names have in common? Well, they are all artists from our area, and soon another name will join them.
My name is Jamani, not to be confused with Jermaine or Jamami or Joe Mama. None of that, or Jumanji, because that's a movie.
Jimani Cabrera is a student at South Kitsap High School, but also an aspiring musician. This talented senior has been involved with South Kitsap's talent show for his entire high school career, from drums to beatbox. To piano and guitar solos. This boy has done it all. Let's take a closer look at the man behind the guitar.
I started playing drums back in 6th grade. Started playing guitar about a year ago. I started singing about a year ago. What else? I've taken about 3-4 years of jazz. And I'm taking every music class possible that you can take. I'm taking concert band, wind ensemble, jazz band, music theory, and percussion.
He's just a really great guy. Everybody loves him. He puts all his effort into his music. Like, I don't know anyone who's like as determined as he is.
I think Jamani is a great, musically talented man.
There's no doubt about it. Music is definitely in Jamani's future.
Yeah, I totally think he's going to be really successful. He works so hard.
My future plans for music, I plan to go to Vancouver, BC, and get a recording art diploma so I can learn the other side of music and how to record it.
Jamani is well on his way. He had a concert, is working on a demo CD, and has his own music MySpace. So, in a couple of years, when you're watching MTV or VH1, look for this talented musician.
That man sure could play the guitar good. You know, a lot of people don't know about Lieutenant Dan is that he used to play baseball. His dad and his grandpa died playing baseball. He didn't though. He ended up with no legs coaching baseball.
It's baseball season, and players that are hoping to make the team are working out in the weight room to get ready for the exciting season after coming 5th in state last year. What is the reason that you're working out in the weight room?
We're lifting this year. We're lifting in the weight room, obviously, to get ready for the season, so we're better prepared.
I feel confident about this year's team. Everybody around here is working out, and they're showing lots of commitment. So I think it's going to be a good year. I think we're going to go a long ways.
I got to talk to Mr. Fairweather to get the 4-on-1 on this year's team. So what does the varsity team look like this year?
We're pretty excited about this year's team. We've got a nice blend of older and younger guys. We're pretty excited about having all of our pitchers back, except for Andrew Thatcher. We have everybody back that started on the mound for us last year. And we brought back some young guys that did a great job on the JVs last year that we expect will contribute quite a bit this year. And we returned our catcher also, who was honored as an all-leaguer. And so we're pretty good pitching and catching wise. And we're working on getting solid up the middle at our shortstop and second base positions and in center field. But we have a lot of very talented and excited guys that are going to come in there and fill those spots for us. So it should be pretty good.
Is it possibly another playoff team?
Well, that's always our goal. Our goals are always win the league championship and then get into the playoffs, make it through districts, get into a region, win the region, and get into the Final Four. And the Final Four this year, just like last year, we played at Safeco Field. So lofty goals for sure, especially when we're going to be as young as we are, but those are always the goals here at South Kitsap.
So this year, be sure to come out and support our Wolves. It should be a year to remember. Don't miss it.
You know, I think he'll have a lot of fun coaching this spring. I was on Jeopardy once. Got to meet Alex Trebek. Shook my hand and he laughed. I got beat by this nice lady named Leah Buswell. I wasn't mad because I lost, because I was happy because she was happy because she won.
This is Jeopardy! Introducing today's contestants. A book editor from Brooklyn, New York.
Every weeknight at 7:30, the game show Jeopardy fills our living rooms. From the regular one-day winner to Ken Jennings, who won over $2 million in a 74-game winning streak, Jeopardy is one of the only game shows to educate its viewers. Leah Buswell, an English teacher here at South, had the opportunity to be seen on Jeopardy in January. This former substitute teacher now works full-time at South Kitsap High School, using her obvious talent to help the kids here at South.
Leah Buswell, originally from Toledo, Washington. And this young lady would like to be a reenactor on the History Channel.
I just always thought that'd be a fun job. You know, you're watching the programs on the History Channel and there's about some historical figure and they've got actors dressed up in neat costumes. They don't have to say much, they don't have to act very much, and then they usually get killed like by pirates or something.
Okay.
Her one-day winnings totaled $16,600, which she will put towards paying off her student loans and possibly a vacation in the future. I caught up with Miss Buswell in one of her classes after school to ask her about the process for getting onto the game show.
Well, last year, about March, they did an online test where you just signed up and took an online test at a certain time. And there was 50 questions, and you had to type in the answer. You didn't have to type in the question, like what is, but you had to type in the answer. And I thought I did really bad. But in May, I got an email asking me to come down to Portland to try out at the hotel, the Westin Hotel downtown, and there were 19 people in my group, but they did 3 groups that day. And what you did, we did another 50-question test, and then we just played a little mock game to see how exciting we would be, and they talked to us a little bit. And apparently 100,000 people took the online test, and out of those, they picked people at random to go try out, so I was really lucky.
After beating out all those people to even be eligible for Jeopardy, Leah was put in a contestant waiting pool for a year. Then, 7 months after she took the online test, she was called by the game show to appear. She was in Hawaii at the time.
We were going along the road and my phone rang. I didn't know who it was, and then I got the message and it said it was Robert from Jeopardy, and it was just surreal. I mean, it was a really fun trip to begin with, and that just made it all the more exciting.
Cool. She says the show itself was unbelievable. Being able to get up on that game show set that she watched every night was a dream come true. A couple months later, and more than $16,000 richer, Miss Buswell continues teaching, and probably will for a long time to come.
She's just a really great person, you know, a great teacher.
Yes. You know, she sure was a winner. I walked into the school the other day, saw people with silly masks and costumes on. Reminded me of Vietnam. I had to wear black and green, but instead of dancing around, we danced with guns. I think they call this one Mardi Gras.
This is Mardi Gras! But no, we are not in New Orleans. We are still at South Kitsap High School. This is the first annual Mardi Gras put on by the South Kitsap Foreign Language Department. This was a chance for South Kitsap students to show off their dance skills, dress like fools, and enjoy the party of Fat Tuesday.
All the dancing and everything, the music, it just made me really crazy. It was really fun.
As students poured in the front door, there is plenty to do, with dance instruction, mask making, and the crowning of the King and Queen. The drawing for the King and Queen was intense, but the coronation went well overall. festive, fun times, and they even followed the age-old Mardi Gras tradition of killing the fool at the end.
I went to Mardi Gras and I had a great time. It was a cool cultural event. A lot of people from the different, like the Spanish club and the German club were there, and it was cool because we got to learn how to salsa dance and different types of Latin dances, and we had a lot of different traditions from Europe for Mardi Gras and Fasching and Carnival, and it was just a good time.
Even the teachers got in on all the fun with wacky costumes and masks. As you can see, Mardi Gras this year was an overall success. And this being the first annual one, SK hopes that this new tradition will go on for many years. The fool is dead. The fool is dead.
I like magic tricks. My friend Bubba told me about all these different magic tricks. There's hat tricks and card tricks and cups and ball tricks and rope tricks and tricks with sticks tricks and illusion tricks and bunny in the hat tricks and cutting people in half.
If you take the card like this, you give it a little rub and a little pop, boom, the magic happens. Y'all see it? Okay, watch very closely. As I push that through, the card turns itself over. If I turn it around like this, give it a little rub and a pop, boom, push it back through, magic happened again.
We all have been captivated by magic, whether it be sawing people in half, choosing a card, or guessing a number. One man in Port Orchard has helped keep the interest and mystery of magic alive. His name is Patrick Warsella. He has been doing magic for 3 years straight and doesn't show any signs of stopping. But why out of all the hobbies and interests in the world would you choose magic?
I think when I was a youngster, around 7, 8 years old, I saw magician Mark Wilson on an old TV show called The Wonderful World of Alakazam. And also there's another magician called Milky the Clown. And I used to watch them perform, and Mark Wilson did illusions and Milky the Clown did more close-up magic. And I really enjoyed it. I just fascinated by it, so I kind of got started, asked my parents for a magic set for Christmas one year, and that's pretty much what got me started in it.
You all know that there are many types of magic ranging from card tricks, illusions, cups and balls, corner magic, silk magic, and rope magic. Out of all these types of magic, which is your favorite?
I like big illusion tricks where, you know, like they'll make a boat or an airplane disappear and then it'll like reappear behind a sheet.
I would have to say, like, when the actual magician disappears and like ends up somewhere else, or like cuts someone in half.
Well, my favorite kind of magic would have to be mostly card tricks and also like hidden devices like pennies or something like that.
I really like cards and coin magic, and I'm starting getting more into coin magic and really card magic.
There are lots of magicians out there such as Chris Angel, Bill Malone, Jim Sankey, and the all-famous Harry Houdini. Let's hear which magicians people like these days.
My favorite magician is Penn and Teller because I like their humor that they use and it makes their tricks a lot more interesting.
My favorite magician is David Blaine.
Guy Vernon and probably Michael Amar.
Performing anything takes confidence and skills. This applies to magic as well. It has its ups and downs, of course. So knowing that it does, why do you choose to perform?
I like it because it's not because, I guess, some people do it to fool others and say, ha ha, I know the secret, you don't. I like it because it entertains people.
Most people who are into magic and want to start don't know where to begin. They aren't sure what the cost of the tricks and where to get the materials to learn them. But it's not as costly as you might think.
You know, if you want to get into magic, it's not a real expensive hobby. You go to the library and check out books. That's one way to start. And that's probably free, and a deck of cards, and that's all you'd need.
So all in all, learning magic takes time, obedience, and confidence if you ever want to succeed in being a great magician, such as David Blaine or Penn and Teller. Devote lots of time and practice to magic, and always take small steps before you take a giant leap of faith.
Well, I think my bus should come soon. I've been waiting all day.
You know the buses come every 35 minutes.
I did not know that.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends.
You know, I was on Jeopardy once. Ow! 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 Oh! You know, bowling's like a box of chocolates. Okay, I got it, okay. You know, I think he'll have a lot of fun coaching this spring. I was on Jeopardy once. Got to meet Alex Trebek. Shook my hand and he laughed. I got beat by this nice lady named Leah Buswell. I wasn't mad because I lost, because I was happy because she was happy because she won. It was a really good experience. Just like you, Brandon.
We got tape.